New fragrance house. This is one I've never heard of before, and I don't know nothing about it. So we're gonna dive right in. Strap up.
Okay, dinner for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let the sin into the room. You are on time, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the afternoon, nighttime actually. I don't know if this is a house or a perfumer, but this is Francesca Bianchi or Bianchi. I know I'm botching that, guys, but this is called The Black Knight. Shout outs to Scott for providing this for me. Really loyal subscriber to the channel, sent me a bunch of bangers to try just out of the kindness of his own heart, and I'm very grateful for that. So Scott, thank you again. He is providing you guys this episode today. So don't know nothing about the house, so I'm going to go ahead and load up. I was going to put it on my arm, but now I'm not because that scent is yeesh. I'm not sure how I feel about that scent yet. So we're going to leave it at the test strip right now. Is there anything I can read to you? It says it's a unisex fragrance. Fragrantica rates it a 4.13 out of 1,200 votes. So not quite mass appealing. It's getting towards there, but it's definitely a fragrance you should put your nose on. Female perfumer. Do they have any write-ups about this? No. Okay. So initial impressions. Wow. I have smelled nothing like this. There will be no references, no alternatives on this review. This is truly unique. Oh my gosh. This is very mature, like beyond mature. I don't even know if I can judge this as a scent because it's so nostalgic of something to my childhood that, oh man. If you're not ethnic of dark skin, if you don't look like me or darker, you might not know this reference, but this smells like Murray's hair grease. Let me show you guys this. Okay, so when we were little, back when the scent bubble had hair, you would have to do a bunch of different things to get waves and curls. And my mom used to always tell me, curls for the girls, waves for the babes. That was a saying we grew up having. And my brother had curls, my younger brother, and I just had like kind of Indian straight hair. You know what I'm saying? And because my mom's side is Polish. And so I really wanted waves. I used to see like I used to go into the beauty supply store and see the different hair greases and combs and all that. And you see the brothers on the box with just that patted down smooth hair. And it would either be curly or wavy, but it was just matted down. And that was a look I was like, I gotta have. So I remember as a kid being 10, 12 years old, buying the comb and brushing my hair over and over and over to try and get waves and getting my do-rags and wearing do-rags so much you get the two-tone do-rags where it's one color on one side, one on the other. And there were different greases and oils that you would get to help keep the hair pressed down and to provide a shiny coat and things like that. So you had 360 waves, you had Sportin' waves, you had Murray's. There was a lot of stuff. Some people, if they wanted to get real technical, they might use castor oil and coconut oil. And there was just a ton of stuff. But Murray's has always been around. I mean, I don't even know how long it's been around, but it's been around ever since I was born. And it's kind of got this old school, waxy, somewhat petrol. It's just a waxy, petrol, leathery, and then spices like cumarin or like It's just a peppery, leathery wax. Yeah, that's exactly it. Actually, I used to love the smell of it as a kid because it reminded me of the barbershop. It reminded me of getting waves. So whenever it was around, I was like, ooh, I'm getting waves. And one of these days, I'll show you guys a picture of SB when he was in high school. But my waves were popping. I used to tell people, go get, it's time to surf today. Get your surfboards because the waves are popping today. I had the dopest pressed waves as a kid. Even as a really young kid, I just combed my hair forever and kept pressing and all that until I had them. So I had ridiculous waves even in middle school. But that was a fleeting memory because by the time I got out of high school, my hair was going on a vacation and little did I know it was not coming back. This is not something I would like to wear. In fact, if I did, I would just go get some Murray's from a Sally's and put it in my hair. But no. And it looks like it's quite expensive. Lucky Scent has it going for $155 for a 30 ml. Let's give you guys the note breakdown, because I think I have described it well enough for you guys. I'm shocked that this got a 4.1 out of 5. Leather, orris root, honey, beeswax, vetiver, oak moss, patchouli, caraway, artemisia, narcissus, cedar, and Bulgarian rose. Okay. Now I know why this fragrance is popular. Let's go back to Fragrantica real quick. There's only one fragrance that this reminds me of, and that's Roja Dove's Diaghilev. In fact, I'm curious to see when people say what this fragrance is like, is Diaghilev in there? Yes, it is, all the way over here. Is that Diaghilev though? No, it's Fetish. It looked like Diaghilev. Huh. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let me grab. A lot of y'all don't know, but I actually have Diaghilev. Do I have an extra test strip? Let's go back out to webcam main. Dang, I need another test strip. Guys, I am so glad you didn't see that because I almost just ate it hard. Okay. I knew this reminded me of something. Yeah, I think it's very close to Diaghilev. We don't have a review for this yet, guys, but we will. For those of y'all who don't know, I've been on a 4-month binge of niche only. I really wanted to take on the niche world and spend a pretty penny and just start collecting the infinity stones of what I feel are just high caliber scents. Not all of them I bought because I want to wear them. Some of them I bought as kind of statement pieces to myself where just appreciating the art of perfumery and what it could do, wanting to have certain things in my collection I'm an artist, guys. I'm an audio engineer. I've been a painter for a very long time, and I'm in the arts. So in my journey, there have been some cases where I will buy something strictly as a collector, not even to wear. Yeah, so this is Diaghilev here. Diaghilev is way more potent than this. This is like Diaghilev light, and it's a little bit more honeyed than it is kind of peachy, oak mossy. There's so much more. To call this peachy oak moss is not doing Diaghilev justice. There is so much more than that, but Diaghilev is way more robust with so much other nuance, but the vibe is this robust masculinity. I always say Diaghilev is a fragrance that the president of the United States would wear, Vladimir Putin would wear, Hitler would have wore. You know, it's like a Russian guy or an Italian mob boss just a very powerful guy would wear something like this. Very diplomatic, dictator level type guy would wear this. And it's way more fancy and elegant than this fragrance, which is Black Knight by Francesca Bianchi. But yeah, when you smell them next to each other, this pales in comparison. And I think it's really due to the peach. The underlying peach just beautifies all of this leather and spice and stuff going on in this fragrance. But they do have a similar structure. This is just more honeyed and waxy. Here are the notes for Black Knight. I'm not sure if I went over them with you guys. We have leather, orris root, honey, beeswax, vetiver, oak moss, patchouli, caraway, artemisia, narcissus, cedar, and Bulgarian rose. And to be quite honest, everything that's in Black Knight is in Diaghilev, minus, I believe, the beeswax and honey. And it does not have orris, but everything else is in it. Yeah, I mean, guys, I don't want to say too much. Let me consolidate this because I don't think a lot of people are going to want to buy this unless you're an absolute grown man. And Diaghilev's is better. So if you can get your hands on it for a reasonable price, you know, Diaghilev's a fragrance that is very expensive. And so you kind of have to have your eyes out there and just catch somebody trying to get rid of it at the right price or a sale going on. And you got to have the balls to buy it because you're not going to wear it a ton. It's going to be when you really want to get your macho formal bag. And because truthfully, Diaghilev's a fragrance where you really only need 10 ml, truthfully. Unless your lifestyle calls for the occasion of it, you never really need a full bottle. But anyways, back to Black Knight. I give it a... Shockingly, I got to do this. I give it a 5. Now, you might say, if you give this a 5, but you own Diaghilev, what's the main difference? The main difference is a quality and complexity difference. And this leans in kind of a petrol, waxy honey vibe that I'm not quite jiving with, to the point where you don't get to appreciate as much the vetiver, the oak moss, the patchouli, the caraway, the cedar, the rose. It's mostly just a leathery, gasoline-ish wax honey. And so it pales in comparison to Diaghilev by a long shot. I'll tell you guys when I actually review Diaghilev what my rating of it is. But this is a 5 out of 10. I wouldn't... If you're 40 years old and up, get your nose on this because it might perfectly fit you if you have some kind of big dog occasions in your life. But outside of that, I don't think anybody below 40 is truly even ready for a fragrance like this. And for my taste on what vibe this gives me, I don't like that they took it in the honey beeswax direction because it feels like hair grease. That's really the main discrepancy for me. It's a cold weather fragrance, 40 and up, that even as a fragrance, I only give it a 5 out of 10. They went for a note profile that's super unique, so I applaud that aspect of it. Like I said, it reminded me somewhat in the family of Diaghilev. Not a lot of fragrances in the category of Diaghilev can really mess with Diaghilev. It truly is a one-of-one type of scent. And I'll let you guys know why that is when we review it, because there's a huge backstory to Roja's story about why that was made. But, yeah, this is a dud for me, guys. I know it took me a long time to review, but, we had that little bit about Diaghilev, and rightfully so. I was trying to explore my mind, and I don't script anything, and I freestyle my reviews. So, I'm sorry that all that led to me telling you don't buy this fragrance. But again, I think if you're a 40-year-old man and you like big dog fragrances, it's worth getting your nose on because now granted, it is quite pricey. What did they say? Is it $200 for this scent? Yeah, roll it retails at 155 for 30 ml, but you're gonna get monstrous performance. Um, yeah, I didn't put this on my skin, but I'm pretty sure it got a great score for longevity. If you want to know, yeah, it's got a lot of people voted that it's not just long lasting, but it's eternal. So similar to Diaghilev, 2 spray killer type of situation. Yeah, I wish it could have smelled good, man, because, you do want that Jeremy fragrance power type of fragrance for if you really need to show out and have a formal occasion where you need to really look apart. But the waxy honey thing is just really killing the rest of the beauty of this style for me. And you walk a real fine line when you go down the direction of, herbal, woody, fougere, spiced, leathery, that woody, musky, animalic, ambery, mossy, earthy type of vibe. You got to walk that line very fine, because that's a style where big dog perfumers get separated from the lambs. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, there's not much else to talk about with this fragrance, guys, because, I think it puts people in an age bracket where I'm now no longer talking to the audience. But anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell so you can get the latest and greatest. I do drop fragrance content of all kinds every single day of the week. So if you're into that kind of thing, I would love to have you. This was Francesca Bianchi's The Black Knight. And it starts off with curiosity and ends a little flat. I think the fragrance just breaks apart. 5 out of 10 for me. I don't even think it's worth your guys' nose unless you're 40 plus as a guy. And my kind of nudge to the 40 plus year old men out there is like, if you can get something closer to what Diaghilev provides, get into it. Because I think the wax direction just threw this fragrance way off. Anyways, have a blessed week, guys. I'll talk to you soon.